Greetings, royal family. Ooh, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on the video. Miss Peaches, you better come get this Rock Wilder. So everybody is talking about August Alsina. He opened up about his previously rumored relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. So he sat down with Angela Yee for an hour-long interview. Angela Yee did a good job. She's a media personality. You guys know her from The Breakfast Club and her Lip Service podcast, among other things. And during this interview, August Alsina, he spoke in depth about, his life, career, his autoimmune disease that he is still battling with. And he also talked about Jada Pinkett Smith. So Yee brought up August Alsina's 2019 track called Nunya. You see the scenery there? And it appears that, I guess, he was talking about Jada Pinkett. The video showed like text messages between two people, and the person's name was Karan, which is Jada Pinkett's middle name. So he admitted that he was pretty much ready to address the situation because the rumors have been harming his career. So I have audio clips, 2 or 3 in particular. This one is about maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. Like to hear it? Here you go.
You guys had just a close family type of relationship, and I would love for you to be able to shed that.
Here's what I'll say. People can have whatever ideas that they like, but what I'm not okay with is my character, being in question. Mm-hmm. When certain things are questionable that I know is not me, or that I know that I haven't done, contrary to what some people may believe, I'm not a troublemaker. I don't like drama. Drama actually makes me nauseous, you know what I'm saying? And I also don't think that it's ever important for people to know what I do, who I sleep with, who I date, right? But in this instance, it's very different because, as I said, there's so many people that are side-eyeing me, looking at me questionable about it. I mean, I've lost money, friendships, relationships behind it, and I think it's because people don't necessarily know the truth, but I've never done anything wrong. Mm-hmm. I love those people, literally, like my family. I don't have a bad thing to say about them. They are beautiful people. When something starts affecting my life, and not only affecting my life, but affecting my wellness and my well-being, and also starts to block my heart space is blocked. I don't really have a choice but to express my truth. I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. Mm-hmm. He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now and be okay with knowing that I truly gave myself to somebody.
Right, you did the right thing.
And I really loved a person. I experienced that. I know what that feels like, and some people never get that in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. So I know that I'm completely blessed. And this conversation is difficult because there's so much that it would be hard for people to understand, but.
Well, there you have it. Okay, I'm going to save my thoughts until the end. I am. And Angela Yee, she went on to ask him how did he feel about the fact that Jada never addressed the situation. Want to hear his response? Like to hear it? Here you go.
You know, I really can't even, I never even can get into the thought of that because I'm only responsible for myself, right? And I'm only responsible for, you know, what I do. When I'm repressing and suppressing things and it starts to affect me, I have to address it. I just always stay silent because I never want to be the person to cause confusion because I love these people.
Right.
I really genuinely do. And I have literally never been in love in that kind of a way. So much so that being intertwined in that way, walking away from it, butchered me. Like I'm shaking right now because
Right.
it almost killed me.
I
Not
saw it.
almost, it did. It pushed me into being another person, my newer self. It broke me down. It was a part of me being paralyzed, trying to pull myself apart from it. It probably will be the hardest thing that I've ever experienced in this lifetime. And, you know, it's difficult because I never want to be the person to cause any confusion or step on toes, right?
You want to be honest.
But I want to honor myself and I want to honor my authenticity. And if honoring my authenticity means you hate me, stone me, shoot me, crucify me, whatever, bury me an honest man.
I respect it. Okay, so after all of that, you know, he discussed a plethora of things. Like, this was really a good interview. And I know that I could easily sensationalize this and make it about what was Jada doing, what was Will doing. They were doing this and that in the house, and they were all living under the same roof. But easily I could do that. But that wouldn't be authentic to, you know, my authentic self, because I took so much more from this interview. He went into discussing how he chose to step away from the relationship, especially after his sister passed away. You know, he got emotional as he was speaking about standing over his sister's body, lifeless body. You know, he talked about how she was so afraid, you know, and he bought her a car and she wouldn't even drive the car because she was so scared. Like, she was just scared of everything. And he talked about him wanting to live his life empty. You know, he just wants to be so filled with love and give so much love to everyone that he doesn't want to live a stifled life. So, you know, a lot has been going on with August Alsina, and in just a short hour, he was very open. He was very open, and they touched on a lot of different subjects. So he does have an album. I think it's out now. The Product 3, State of Emergency, and it features 27 tracks. Now that's a real album. You got Tink, Yo Gotti, Lil Wayne, and Juicy J. So, I mean, a lot of people have a lot to say about their relationship or whatever it was. Now, I watched the interview in its entirety. And I also saw clips from his documentary as well. And he never said that he was in a physical relationship with Jada Pinkett. And I mean, we can only assume. I get that. People are going to assume. And when he said that he sat down with Will Smith and he got his blessing, because Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, they've gone on record, both of them, when they were on Red Table Talk, and they talked about how their union transitioned from like a traditional marriage to a life partnership. So I don't know if there was, you know, like, it's sex, if they were having sex with each other, and if he was in the house and Will was there when they were doing it. I don't know. And again, Jada and Will are on record basically expressing the new terms of their life partnership. So take a listen to what Jada had to say about her and Will's marriage. Hold on, let me cue this up for you.
If you marry me, know this. We're going to be together. We're going to be under the same roof. You might be on one end of that joker with somebody else. And I might be on one of this joker with somebody else.
Yeah.
And I always said, that's ridiculous. But we're going to be in this joker together.
Yeah.
So
That's
Jada,
what we are going to do.
So you heard it for yourself. That came out of Jada's mouth. They were on her show. Willow, not Jada. Willow, and Jada's mother. They were having a discussion, and Will Smith was talking about divorce as well. And he said he regrets his divorce, something like that. Anyway, you heard what Jada said. So the terms of their relationship goes as such. We may be in the same house. You may be with somebody else. I may be with someone else, but we're going to be in this together. There is no divorce, basically. You know, we have a life partnership. It's not a traditional marriage. Will Smith is on record as saying that as well. Now, it's their terms. It's their relationship, their terms, their household. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. Even Jada's mother said that that's ridiculous because Western culture, it's like, you know, monogamous relationship, one man, one woman. You know, you get married till death do you part. Everyone remains faithful. That's fine. There are other cultures who believe in the opposite. So I just feel like everybody has to do what works for them. It may look awkward. It may look quote unquote wrong. It may not look right. You have to do what works for you. And the good thing about this is, I think, the two of them seem to be in agreement. Isn't that the most important thing? If it looks crazy to us on the outside, that's fine. But the two of them agree on this, right? So when August Alsina says that he sat down with Will Smith and he got his blessing, what I got from that was he let Will Smith know, look, you know, I guess I'm attracted to your wife. I don't know. I'm assuming. But he may not necessarily have meant sexually. You know, August Alsina was going through a lot. You know, health-wise, Jada Pinkett, it's being alleged that she was there for him when he started to physically break down, when he had these health issues. So she was there for him. He's just been through a lot. Like, his brother was killed. Then the mother of his nieces, she passed away. He took guardianship of his three nieces. It's three of them, right? I think it's three of them. Like, this is a 20-something-year-old with no children of his own. And he decided to take on this responsibility, all while going through his own trials. So he says that he walked away from this, whatever it was, association. You know, when his sister died, you know, he gave everything. He was in love with her. And then the fact that he chose to walk away, it crushed him. In his documentary, he also said that he takes full responsibility of getting into a relationship, association, whatever, with Jada, whatever it was that they have. Because it's still like, we don't know. We can only assume. So he talked about his relationship with his mother, and he was understanding about like what his mother was not able to provide for him emotionally, because he understands that she didn't receive what she needed as well. So he doesn't blame her at all. He just understands that it just is. So I'm wondering, maybe he saw a nurturing spirit or something in Jada that he was lacking all these years. It could be that kind of like fueled the connection between the two of them. He also experienced abuse at a young age by a family member. And he acknowledges that was traumatic. And he just spoke about Black people not expressing their trauma because we're taught to, quote unquote, take it on the chin, you know, tough love, tough love. So there was a myriad of things that he discussed. And again, I understand, you know, people are sensationalizing the whole affair with Jada Pinkett, but I just wanted to come on and express what some of my takeaways and point out some of the things in the interview that people may not want to sit through and sit and listen to. You know what I'm saying? I just think it was a really great interview, or a revelation, I should say. Like, I can tell that he has shed a lot of emotional baggage, and he was vulnerable. You know, he talked about allowing people to have the freedom to be who they are. You know, he doesn't want to be boxed in or marginalized, and He oftentimes talks about people. Well, he said that people often tell him, hey, you should be doing this, or why do you dress like this, or why do you do that? He just wants the freedom to be himself. He doesn't want to cause trouble, you know, when talking about his relationship with the Smiths. He just talked about being emotionally sick. Being emotionally sick can lead to becoming physically ill. He went through a lot. Now, I did just see on TMZ, they posted an article saying that Jada's representatives are denying what it is that August Alsina said in this interview. During the interview, he never said that he had sexual relations with Jada. You know, he just said that he loved her. He loves Will Smith. He loves those people. He loves that family. He never said, oh, yeah, we were sleeping together. You know, it's just some of us, we automatically assume that. But Jada's representatives, even if this article is true from TMZ, denying their rumored relationship. What's interesting is when these rumors were circulating years ago, because this is not new, neither Jada nor any of her quote unquote reps gave any explanation as far as their association. They never did, unless I missed something. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, I don't want to make this too long. Here are my final thoughts. I just feel like as young as this man is, he's only 27. As young as this man is, in this interview and in clips that I've seen from his documentary, it seems to me that he's reached a level of understanding, peace, and self-awareness that some people 15, 20 years older than him aren't fortunate to experience. I think Angela Yee did an amazing job. You can tell that August felt very comfortable speaking with her. They are friends. She did admit that in the interview. And I like the fact that she got the Jada and Will stuff out of the way because she knows him personally. So she obviously knows that there's more to August than just his association with the Smiths. So I'm glad that she got that out of the way in the beginning so that it can open up more, you know, dialogue about all the other things that are going on in his life or that he's overcome or, you know, things that he's come to learn. So I like that. I like the way she didn't overtalk him. She was very engaged. A lot of the stuff you can tell she probably already knew. I encourage you guys to listen to the entire interview. It's definitely worth it. It is an hour long. I know you're seeing videos and things like that online where they're chopping it up and they're taking some of his words and putting it in the article. I mean, I can't play the whole interview here, but I just wanted to point out some of the other good things or things that took place in this interview aside from the Jada and Will situation. And like he says, you know, this started to affect his career. You know what I mean? He got labeled, I guess, a homewrecker, for lack of a better word. And it's just more, you know, it's always more to the story, right? In every situation, just about, it's always more to the story. So now, I don't know. It's being said that he's lying. And like I said, Jada's rep said he was not telling the truth. That's very well possible. Because people can look you right in your eye and tell you a bold-faced lie. But aside from the Jada and Will situation, like I said, I encourage you guys to listen to the interview. If you care, listen to it in its entirety. It is on Angela Yee's YouTube channel. You can find it on YouTube. The entire interview, because there's so much more information, so much more to take away other than the fact that he and Jada Pinkett had whatever type of relationship. So until I hear or see Jada come out and say, nah, he lying, then we can have a different conversation, you know, because she could be lying too. But this rep with no name that TMZ is reporting on, I don't know. So, Royal Family, this concludes my thoughts on August Alsina discussing his life with Angela Yee. Angela Yee did a great job. August Alsina did a great job. Toward the end, they were laughing and joking, having a little fun. You know, he still likes to go to the strip club, he says. You know, his preference. His album is out now. So, it's good to see him in a good mental space, it appears. And physically, he's still going through treatment for his autoimmune disease, and he talked about that as well. I don't recall the name of the actual autoimmune disease. It's a rare disease, he says, and he's getting treatment and stuff for it. And that can be very hard on him physically, especially if he wants to do shows. Angela Yee was present at one of his shows where he passed out on stage. So there's more to this young man than just his association with Jada Pinkett Smith. And again, take a listen for yourself and take away whatever you see fit to take away, you know. Chew the meat and leave the bone. Is that how it goes? Take the meat and leave the bone. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. I really, really, really did. I've always liked August Alsina as a vocalist, and just to hear all of the things that he endured and his outlook on life, his perspective, the wisdom that he's gained. Yeah. And he can share that. He's raising his nieces, and he's going to pass that along to them. He talked about them as well in the interview. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I'm forgetting. I mean, as far as the Jada thing, it's probably not, you know, I don't want to get too deep, but I chalk it up to being possibly a soul tie that he had with her. If there was a romantic relationship, doesn't necessarily mean they had to be physical. They don't have to have sex to have a romantic relationship. But whatever this relationship was, he said he was madly in love with her, deeply in love with her. It could have just been a soul tie. You know, not to trivialize that, but remember, well, if you saw it, he talked about issues that he had with his mother. So the things that he was lacking, maybe he found in Jada. You never know. I know that sounds cliche, but it's really true for some people. You know what I mean? And especially when he was going through his health crises, she was present. She was there for him. And he said that he loves all of them, the whole family. So I'm sure that they were there supporting him, helping him, encouraging him. And a soul tie, you know, began between the two of them. And sometimes that can be hard to break for some people, you know. And I'm not judging him at all. Because how many of us, you know, been in connection with people, whether it be romantically, a business relationship, a friendship, whatever, you know, been involved with somebody that we ain't got no business being involved with per se. But I just feel like everything serves a purpose, and who knows, maybe he had to go through all of these trials and tribulations to come to a realization of, okay, I'm wiser now, I'm stronger now, you know what I mean? And he's overcome a lot. Many of us have. So I choose to look at it that way. You know, take from it what you will. But if you did see the interview in its entirety, share your opinions. I love to read your feedback. You guys know that I respond to you as much as I can. Like the video if you liked it. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my uploads. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on and share my thoughts and some of my takeaways. But, you know, kudos to this young man. And I really wish him well. I wish him health and strength and continued success. I mean, what more can I say? So, Royal Family, I am signing off. Thanks for joining me. Again, drop your comments. Can't wait to hear your perspectives. Please keep all comments respectful. Please, no profanity, no obscene terms in the chat. Thanks in advance. Signing off for now, Royals. Until next time.